everyone, this is Venus Brown from Diverse Spectrums. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that some of you may relate to, and that's having your Facebook account. Over the summer, my mom's Facebook account got hacked. And sure, Facebook has remedies to try to get back in. Unfortunately, those procedures don't always work. My mom tried the procedures that they had laid out, and that did not work. Even after going through Facebook's identification verification, Facebook hadn't actually gotten back in touch with her with any resolution. It was summer, and we were planning to come for a visit anyway, so we decided maybe while we were there, we could try to help. First, my techie husband worked on it without any luck, and then I decided to take a look. What has gone on so far, what's been done, and what hasn't been done. I'm not as techie as my husband, but I am very determined and very persistent with this kind of stuff, sometimes annoyingly so. Still, I attack problems like this in a way that just worked well for the situation. Because when I'm determined to fix a problem like this, I will try everything I can find within reason, hopefully till something works. It was looking pretty grim after trying several things, but I still didn't want to give up. So I wanted to try a couple last-ditch efforts. They probably shouldn't have been last-ditch efforts. Unfortunately, it took a long time before I was able to find them. And eventually, after quite some time and a lot of aggravation, I finally got in. If you stick with me, I will explain everything that we tried. It won't necessarily be in order, but it will be as many of the steps I can think of that we tried, and how we eventually got back in and secured the account. And finally, I will explain what we did to try to clean up the account after we got it secured. If video isn't your preferred method, I do have my original blog post that you can go to. I will provide the web address in the description section. I will also provide some of the other web pages that I discuss in this video within the description section. If you do go to the blog post, it will have clickable links within it. It's in my YouTube description. I believe you have to copy and paste the web address into the browser. This is a very small channel. I'm just starting out. I do not have very many subscribers at all. So please, if you like this content, give it a thumbs up. If you click subscribe and click that little bell, you can get notifications. And if you select all, you'll get notifications every time I load new content. One of the first things I noticed was that there were communications going back and forth between my mom and Facebook. Please pay close attention to these emails. If they aren't referring to your logins, they could save you a ton of headaches. Now, I don't know if you can read this. I blew it up a little bit. So this was one that was sent when a confirmation code was used. This was something that was sent to me after I intentionally tried to get back into an account that I had not used and forgot about for years. The email says, your Facebook account was recently logged into using confirmation code and the email address. Now, I changed a lot of the identifying information. So I put abcblooperscooper@yahoo.crud, which obviously isn't a real email. Operating system, Windows, browser, Chrome, IP address. I made up an IP address. I don't even know if that's the correct format. And estimated location, Bangiopa, Nigeria. I made up Bangiopa. Nigeria was just one of the places that my mom had actually experienced problems like this from. Pay close attention to the instructions they give. If you reply to these emails, they're not going anywhere. If you did this, you can safely disregard this email. If you didn't do this, please secure your account. Thanks, Facebook security team. Another thing I noticed is that in all these communications, some of them seemed kind of fishy to me. Like asking for credit card information, that stuff rings alarm bells in my head like crazy. My suspicion is that some of these communications were actually from the hacker or from whatever entity that hacker was tied to. But some of the communications were from Facebook or Meta. All of these on here are actually mine and they are from legitimate sources, but it's stuff that you want to pay attention to. Look at where it's coming from. Look at the language. Open up the emails and check and make sure the formatting is right. Look for telltale signs like incorrect spelling, incorrect grammar. These companies have editors that go and check their stuff. It's not always 100% right. They do tend to use the same kind of language, and for the most part, they try to keep with legitimate grammar and spelling. So just look out for that. But also look out for logos that look like maybe they're copied and pasted. Look out for language that is different than what your company usually uses. Look out for email addresses where the email was actually sent from a different email address than that company usually sends from. Another part of the messages that my mom had gotten were for the identification process. And I know that Facebook has their own identification process, and they may actually ask you for photo ID. They may actually ask you for photo images to help identify you. But I believe my mom got messages requesting credit card information, and that stuff definitely to me sounded very fishy. And I'm not sure that it was coming from these Facebook emails either. So just be really careful. Like, are they sending these messages in a different way than they're usually sending them? Is it coming from another email address? Is the language different? Look at that stuff. Pay attention to it. Next thing we're going to talk about is viral memes. These things should really give you pause. Be careful with them. There were things that we already knew when we got there about my mom's hacker. We already had a good idea of how the account was breached. And in this case, it was a seemingly innocent math meme. Be careful with these memes. Math memes, prayer chains, any chain posts trying to pull at your heartstrings, posts trying to get you angry and upset, posts pulling on your frustrations and irritations. Some of these generational posts asking you for lots of information about yourself to get to know you. Pay attention to that stuff. Be very careful with it. Either way, in this case, it was this math meme. Everyone is getting this wrong. I have 6 eggs. I break 2 eggs. I fried 2 eggs. I ate 2 eggs. How many eggs I have left? The winner takes $1,500. Okay? In the first place, anything telling you that you might make some money, don't fucking listen to that shit. That is key for a freaking alarm bells that should be going off in your head. Don't even bother. But second off, it doesn't have to involve money. These seemingly innocent math memes, which I don't consider them innocent at all, I have my own problems with them. My opinion, they intentionally push stupid arguments and division and divisiveness, based mostly on how you were educated. Honestly, the stuff that you learned back in grade school doesn't always stick in your head. And if you're not a math major, you're not in a science degree or something like that, you're not in a job background where you're using a lot of math, this may not be something that you access regularly. You could have forgotten the proper process to go through whatever math problem it is. So it really does irritate me that they use these freaking math things. I don't find it innocent at all. Either way, this and many others like it will sometimes be used to gather a lot of really quick data and information. Just responding to that account gives them easy access to your account. They can look at your friends list. They can see what pictures you have on your account. They can see all kinds of stuff that you've posted, and they can see all kinds of information that you've posted about. And anything that you've made public, they can readily, easily go and look at and access. And they can use that information to get into your account, to try to find out how to get into other accounts, learn about your friends, to learn about other people that are on your newsfeed and your public information on your accounts. So be careful with that. There's lots of them. It's not just these math memes. I am not very trusting of these viral memes. Not the questions, the stories, the prayers, the pleas, the chain letters, or anything else where there's some request that I repost on my own page. Don't like that. But I'm especially not trusting of most chain posts that engage in further interaction after your initial communication. And this one did. Eventually asking people for money, groveling for credit card information, such things that have no business coming from an innocent math meme. Can you hear my underlying seething irritation at this freaking bottom feeder? This is a message my mom left after my brother tried to warn people about this particular meme. And of course, she was speaking from her own experience. Anyone who replies to this is just asking to be hacked, like I was. They're trying to get your information so they can wipe your bank account out. I removed my access to any banking from Facebook. Don't give them any codes. They will rob you blind. You can see she's very frustrated. She's very irritated. This didn't only involve her Facebook account getting hacked. It involved them begging for freaking money and asking for credit card information. After you experience that, not being able to log into your account, make sure that you start out on a device and Wi-Fi access that you regularly use to get into this account. Why? Because of that same reason that Facebook sometimes leaves you these email notifications saying that somebody that doesn't quite look right logged into your account. If they recognize it, that can be a little bit helpful in getting you back into your account. If they don't recognize it, it sends up red flags to them to try to keep you from getting back into that account. Try to use a device that you've used on that account before. Try to use Wi-Fi that you've used on that account before. If you don't do that, it doesn't mean you won't get in, but it does mean that it may be a little harder for you to get in. It may be a lot harder for you to get in. I used that old account that I had no clue how to get in just to get sample information on these processes and how they go. So let's go through some steps that you can take after that initial login has failed. Okay, first thing, when you try to log in, you can use that forgot password. Or if you suspect somebody already logged into your account, you can use forgot password right away. Get an email or a text with a code so that you can get back into your account with the code and go ahead and change your password right then. Process I went through for my account. Requested a new password through my email address. You can choose email or mobile number. Pop-out indicated that I could log into my email address. You can do that, but I selected try another way because I wanted to recreate the option to have a code sent to me. It will bring up a prompt for you to reset your password. And for me, options of using my Google account, sending a code to my email, or entering my password. I selected to send a code. Check your email for the code if you use this method. If you use mobile, check your text. Copy and paste or type the code into the box provided on Facebook. And just for your information, since I didn't notice this early on, there is actually a link in this email that you could change your password right there from the email. I didn't realize this until I had really thoroughly looked over that email. And it's a bright blue box. I should have noticed that, but I didn't. I've always just copied and pasted the codes whenever I needed them, whether I sent them by text, had them sent by email. So it's something to keep in mind. If for some reason those codes aren't working when you use them, maybe try doing the change password link that is on there. And if this works for you, go on to the next step that I'm going to address in a little bit. If not, you can actually skip to the next section. There are a lot of other methods that you can try, and I did provide timestamps in my description, so you should be able to skip around in my timeline on my YouTube video. If for some reason I didn't get the formatting right and those gaps are not there, then you can at least go into my description, look at the timestamps, and look at the labels and go to that time in the video. But if that did work for you, it should prompt you to create a new strong password. Don't make it too close to your old one, and don't make it too close to your personal information. Make sure it has letters, numbers, and maybe a symbol or more. If you try that and it doesn't like your password, just keep trying different combinations of letters and numbers and maybe a symbol or more until you get one that it accepts. But you also need to make sure that you keep track of your username and password, just in case you forget it or it isn't saved in the password manager, or cookies have been erased, or you've done an update or reboot or cleanup that has cleared those cookies out. These are all things that I have trouble keeping track of myself. So we've tried these steps and they haven't worked. So now what do we do? These options failed to get me into my mom's account because the hacker had already changed the mobile number. So the last digits that are showing in the list of options were the same as my mom's number. but the phone number itself was a little bit different. You look at the message for this code where it says they sent the code to, you can see 2 digits at the end. Well, those digits were the same as my mom's number, but they were not going to her texts. We suspect it was going straight to the hacker. There were other issues like not remembering certain information from when she set up her account a long time ago, along with the hacker changing a bunch of her identifying information, her email address, username, password, all of that. Since that failed, let's go to the next steps that I tried. I should say that we tried, because this was a joint effort between me, my mom, and my husband, trying to keep track of all the information, the usernames and passwords, the different stuff that Facebook was asking for, and different accounts that we were using. Since I had not documented this information while we were going through this process, I'm pulling the dialogue from where I had documented what I could remember in chats, just to try to keep track of whatever we tried. The first thing I did after this is I tried to go to Facebook's Help Center. You go to the top right corner and click the circle with your profile picture, or someone else's if you're using another person's account. Click Help and Support, then click Help Center. Click Privacy and Security near the center of the page. Click Reporting Abuse, then Reporting Something. So if you look on this page, Report Something is one of those blue links under popular articles. There are lots of links for help with various things, but we're specifically looking for help reporting our hijacked account. I call it hijacked, they call it hacked, whatever you want to call it. Start with selecting the question, how to report a Facebook account or page that's pretending to be someone else. This will involve finding the hijacked account and reporting from there. Make sure you follow it all the way through. Another thing you can try if you're trying to help someone else that you suspect has been hijacked, spoofed, spammed, has a virus, a worm, or any other issues is to report it using the Find Support or Report link near the offending material, post, photo, or comment. And you do that by clicking the 3 dots near that information and then clicking Report Post and selecting whatever option that you think applies to what they have done. Now, it may seem like it falls under multiple titles, so feel free to report them multiple times on those multiple titles. I do think that the more you bug Facebook, the more likely they are to actually do something about this stuff. Plus, remember to include any information that you can think of in these reports, especially if they have a comment section. Any of the reports I filed had no comment section. There's no phone number or chat service I could call for Facebook text services. So the best you can do is to keep filing reports, and if you find any that have a comment section, leave as much information in that comment section as you possibly can, including everything that's been done, what has and hasn't worked, and what's happened with the tries that you've made. I actually used Donald Trump's account as a sample, show you how to report an account, mostly because I don't care all that much what happens with his report, and I know it's not going to go anywhere. So to report a specific account or page, you're going to go to the account and you're going to click those 3 dots by the cover photo. Find Support or Report the profile or Support or Report the page. And that will provide options to report the full page or account. Let's say you needed to report for Messenger. There is an option to report on Messenger. Again, I didn't see this until I started to write the blog post. It says you can click the 3 dots at the conversation page. Desktop Messenger, it may be a little bit different. So you go to the top right of the person's account or page and click the 3 dots. Then find Support or Report, then report pretending to be someone. Select who they're pretending to be, whether it's you, a friend, or somebody else. Then go through the report, click Submit, and Done when you're finished. All right, back to regular Facebook for now. This is actually a step that might be better done at the beginning after you find out that you've been hacked or can't log in. Unfortunately, we just didn't find it until later. So first, to get to the area for hijacked or hacked accounts, go back to the Help Center. On the left side, click Policies and Reporting. Then click Hacked and Fake Accounts. This will have instructions on recovering your account. Follow these instructions all the way through in order to try to get back into your account. Notice also there are selections for friends whose accounts have been hacked, as well as impersonation accounts and fake accounts should you need them. These faked and impersonation accounts weren't actually hacked. In these cases, they were copied, pretending to be someone or something else, or pretending to be something that doesn't even exist. Now, if you don't want to look for these pages and you want to just be taken straight to them, I will supply links in the descriptions, but you can also go to my original blog post, and there are clickable links on there that will have these web addresses there. You can click them and they will take you right to these web addresses that I'm getting ready to talk about. You can go to the web address near the top of the page and that will take you to that help article. Just make sure you read the instructions and follow them all the way through to the end. And the link closer to the bottom of the page, that will help you secure your account if you notice that there is anything you think that wasn't from you. If your account was hacked, if someone faked or spoofed your account, someone changed your privacy settings or other information, or if you notice some other option that isn't listed. At some point in the process of trying to regain control of your account, you may be asked to verify your identification through ID. And this is the help page that can help you find information for providing your identity verification. This page also has other information for challenges like changing your name, bullying and harassment, unsafe and unhealthy Facebook relationships, inappropriate sharing of images, information alike, and human trafficking. There's also a section for setting up secure Facebook payments through MetaPay and providing or changing ID, payment methods, etc. I didn't need that, but maybe you will. Either way, to go to this area, go back to the Help Center. At the left side, click Policies and Reporting, then click Being Your Authentic Self on Facebook, and read through any of the related information on verifying your identity. Let's talk about some of the problems we experienced, because there were many problems we experienced going through all these steps and processes. Some of them I already talked about, but I'm going to cover them again just to make sure it's clear. The mobile number that was listed when requesting a code to reset the account wasn't working. They only list a couple of the last digits. We suspect that the number had been changed by the hacker. So whenever we used that option, that information was probably being sent straight to the hacker instead of to my mom. And that can happen if the hacker has a phone number with the same last digit. And you can create your own phone number with your own chosen digits. Not something really that difficult if they know what they're doing. But it took us a while to figure this out. Why are we not getting these codes? Where are they going? Probably being sent to someone else's number, like the account hacker, freaking sneaky thief. Emails and such had probably been changed, plus a lot of the account information my mom hadn't remembered because it had been so long since she had accessed it. Like I couldn't remember that account that I was trying to get into. Some of the messages, emails, etc. that my mom was getting may have been coming from nefarious sources, attempts to get her information, her money, her credit card information. So be very careful with these communications. Identification documents had to be sent more than once, which did make my mom a little nervous. And after everything she had gone through, I don't blame her. At some point, we were receiving codes. They weren't getting her all the way in. I can't remember exactly, but we'd get notices like, this account is locked, or this account is disabled. Probably because of all the reports we were sending from the hacker. Sometimes it just wouldn't go through or it would freeze up. Sometimes notices came up without granting access. We'd get an error to say to try again later. And eventually the codes just stopped sending. My thought is that we tried too many times and hit some sort of daily limit. At that point, we had sent almost every report I could find, but I hadn't found a way to communicate with an actual person. So I went on a mad hunt trying to find anything that would allow me to leave a comment when we reported. So sent some reports multiple times. I had myself and my husband using our own accounts to help report this hijacker. That gave us an option to select my mom's name from a list of possible options. from a list of possible accounts that the hacked account might actually belong to. Make sure you select the right account. All these problems might seem really annoying and daunting, but I believe me pushing through each one until it was solved was helping. I also believe us bugging Facebook and Meta over and over again was helping. Still, we had tried everything I could think of or find. The codes weren't sending anymore. We had just sent the identification and information verifications again a second time. I was frustrated, but I decided to wait till the next day to see if we could get the codes again. If not, I felt I'd done enough, and it would be time to throw in the towel, because even with my persistence, I do have limits. The next morning, lo and behold, there seemed to be some action. Message sent out to get back into the account. Codes went through, and this time they actually worked. My mom did what she needed to do to secure her account. I looked up the account history, tried to delete anything that was sent after it was hijacked. We went back and forth, making sure we had the right usernames, passwords, and everything for the old accounts and the new accounts. My mom tried to re-invite friends to her old account that had left, while my husband and I tried to message others to reassure them that this was actually my mom and her account that she had gotten back in. And once you get back into your account, what should you do? When or if you get back into your account, adjust some of your settings right away, which Facebook should have you do anyway. You'll also want to take extra steps to take care of anything that hacker had already done to your account. Start with going to the Keeping Your Account Secure section under Privacy, Safety, and Security. Check all of your history from the time that your account was hacked and get rid of as much as you can that did not originate from you. Ensure that hacker cannot get back into your account with better passwords, using two-factor authentication and activating alerts. You should probably also clear out your cookies from your browser, at least initially, after you ensure that you know the login information to get back into your accounts. Also, you might want to keep in mind that the hacker may have been able to access other accounts that were linked to your Facebook accounts, like Messenger, Instagram, and other applications and features within Facebook and Meta, plus anything else that you have linked to those accounts. I don't know if these accounts are separate, but I would double check just to make sure that nothing has been changed on any of your other accounts and that you're able to log in and out of them with usernames and passwords that you have kept track of. Send messages to your friends that you have gotten back into your account and that it really is you, but only do this after updating your security. I also leave a post on my other accounts explaining that I'm back on, that it really is me, and explaining what account that I have gotten back into. Now, you can do that if you want to, you don't have to, but beware to be prepared for the next thing. After I posted that I was back into that old account that I hadn't been logged into for years, I got loads of comments about my hacked account, using their service or the service of others to get back in. Seriously, ignore these comments. There's too much risk at them contributing to more problems with your security, scamming you, or other possible nefarious intentions. Let's read through what I have. Thanks for the warning. I faced similar issues a few months ago. I suggest you report the problem to clotools_TECJZ on Instagram. He's on Meta Support Engineers and helps. I wonder why Meta Support team finds it so difficult to reply to our complaints. I suggest you report the problem to. He will help you solve your problem. And provides an Instagram link, Dave_cybernetic. My account was compromised and my email and password was changed for no reason. Appeal never worked. I uploaded my ID details and told them my mobile phone and email. I got no response from support team. Was then recommended to Bruno_cyberfix on Instagram. Suggest you send a help message regarding your account to a professional tech specialist who can help you. Message hashtag Smith_cracks001 on Instagram now to get this sorted out. How long have you been hacked? Send me private message for quick recovery now. When last did you have access to the account? Message me now for quick recovery. Seriously? Do not click on these. I think I left some emoticons to some of them with angry faces or sad faces or whatever. but don't respond to them. Definitely don't message them. Don't click on their links. If you're going to leave a reply, try to be very careful who you're leaving a reply to. I know this stuff is very frustrating, but I do not think this is a good route to go down if you want to get this stuff sorted. Hopefully you follow through with everything you need to do. You get your password changed, you set up two-factor authentication, you request to have alerts sent, and you really pay attention when you get those alerts and emails. Double check your other accounts, make sure nothing was changed on them. Try your best to clear any history out that didn't belong to you. I'm sorry I went on so long, but it's a lot to cover. There was a lot that happened. I'm not sure exactly what got me back in, but I think with the many, many steps that we tried and everything that we used, and especially once I finally found a report that actually had a comment box in it, I was able to leave a nice long message explaining all the steps that we had taken, everything that didn't work, what exactly happened, and all the stuff that did work. I was able to explain all of that. I was worried that they wouldn't leave enough space for me to comment everything, but it actually did allow me to put a significant amount of information. And I tend to be long-winded. I tend to put a lot of information. So if you do find a comment box that does have a cutoff, you may need to keep your answers concise, down to as few short sentences and words as possible. That's all I got for you today. I will see you next time. Bye.
Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more content, click subscribe. If you click that little bell and click all, then you'll get more content notifications.